What you doing?
I'm making a gift for you. Can you flip it over for me? I think this just goes in here.
There you go. It's moving. It owes you money. Perfect. Pimping! From Regal Metalworks. Hey, sorry for no upload last week, except for Sunday. It was a pretty crazy week here this past week. It's just a lot of catching up on stupid little things and finishing off jobs that just weren't interesting enough to really document, and I was pretty busy. And having to order and deal with all this other stuff and design stuff, and just wasn't really good. But I do have some video from the weekend. I did take some time over the weekend and machined the rest of the swivel point for my 2x72 belt grinder. So I have that documented. You can see that here, and you'll see some of the issues I had with it, and we'll go over some of that. Maybe some of you can give me some tips on some stuff, but here, enjoy some of that. Okay, I'm just probing the smaller swivel part here, and for some reason I always seem to order the stock and forget about work holding. So here I'm actually using the super glue method that I saw John Saunders had in a couple of his vlogs with great success. So I went ahead and tried that, and I had no problems doing it this way. This worked like a champ. I was pretty surprised. Now it takes a bit getting it set up. You got to use tape and super glue and then clamp it down for a while. And I use set pins in those holes there so that I can make sure that my X and Y were actually straight, so that when I machined this I would have a straight part, since I didn't have a lot of room. It's just a 1 inch by 1 inch block. here's the final piece here, this main pivot point here. This is basically where the tracking pulley is going to be bolted to. And then this bolt here, I'll have to weld a nut behind here, and that will thread in and out, and that will actually push this in and out so you can adjust your tracking, which basic, straightforward, nothing, you know, ground shaking. But some of the machining issues I had, none of this stuff is bolted together, that's why it's all wobbling. I didn't have any of the right size bolts, so I just threw in whatever I had. But machining this thing really kind of kicked my butt. I decided to machine it starting like this so that I can get the profile, right? But see how we have this arc here too. So I wasn't sure what the best way to go about doing that, so I just machined it off straight. And then and how I did, as you saw in the videos, I used the super glue method because I only had 40 thou to grab with, and I don't have any way to really hold that. And I flipped it over, used the super glue method again, but it didn't have quite the holding force, and it threw it off and nicked me here pretty good there and there when it threw the piece off. So then I just put it in the vise, clamped it in it like that on a set of parallels, and then just decked that off. And then I was able to run my chamfer around there. But again, my chamfer I couldn't run down there, I just ran straight off. So then I had to put this in the vise on a set of parallels, and I had to contour this curve out, which I did, and then I used a chamfer and chamfered it, but it's just not good enough. It doesn't tie in right. I'm not sure. You can see I actually took it to the belt sander a little bit to try and get it a little closer, but I'm not sure the best way to make this part. I mean, the part feels really good in your hand, not that you're going to have it in your hand, but I'm just wondering what the best way to machine this is. You know, I really wanted this profile to be nice and smooth, and that's the results I usually get when I'm machining, and I like that. Whereas here, you can see this, I did 3D machine that, and that has all the ridges in it and whatnot. And I didn't want to do the same thing with this, and plus you really can't get to the backside, and tying that in, it's really difficult. It's just so much easier to machine the profile out this way. But this profile here, I don't know if I should just nix the round profile here or just make it straight and just chamfer it the whole ways around. I mean, that would save me a lot of headache, but it looks so much nicer like this. I'm just not sure. If anybody has any suggestions of the best way to go about machining something like this that has multiple rounded edges on it, I'd be really interested in seeing or hearing. Here it's all together so you can kind of see how it works. So this is just a bolt that's temporary in there, and there's no nut on the side, but you would thread this in or out, and it would move this. As you can see, it pivots out, or it can pivot in. Well, that's kind of blocking it, but if we move that out of the way, it would. There we go. So you can see how it tilts it. And it's pretty solid. It worked good. And then all I have to do is get this in alignment with those. So I either need to space these out, or I need to space this plate out. I'm not sure. I need about 1 inch. So I could always use, like, make aluminum spacers to put in there that are about 1 inch to space this. Or should I space the plate out, or should I just make an machine an aluminum plate that's a lot thicker that has the right spacing? I'm not sure which way I'm going to go. I think I'll probably try a couple different things. But any suggestions? Leave your comments below. I'd greatly appreciate it.
So bring your A game, cause you know this party won't stop. We could never run out of time, sipping strawberry lime. You know I wanna share it with you. This is going boom, boom.